of Pretty Little Liars. What are you crying about? She's probably crying about the boringness of the first 12 minutes of this episode. Let's just use an analogy here. This episode is a zombie. The first 12 minutes is dead. It's dead. Real dead. And then it rises from the dead and eats everyone's brains. And then just gets real cray and assumes that everyone is killing everybody, and it's just like, what is happening? Maybe there's someone who is killing people that are not killing people. It's confusing. What just happened to my brain? Honestly though, like what just happened? Hashtag Caleb saves the whole entire episode, not just the day, the whole entire episode. And Melissa as well, except she's been saving everyone all the time apparently. I'm gonna believe that Melissa is a good person and that she's been watching out for Spencer forever, and I think that's really what was being hinted at in the last episode, was like, you know, I have lost all of my friends because I was trying to save you. Also the fact that there is a lot more explained about the Halloween episode. Like, we just keep adding people to the train. Wilden is there, he's killing people, he's dressed up as the same thing as Melissa, who was the Queen of Hearts. So, really? He was the Queen of Hearts as well? So, that time Marlene King, she hinted that we will know who the Queen of Hearts is. She forgot to mention there were two. For a second, I was like, yeah, Melissa killed Wilden. And then Hannah shows up and is like, tears in her eyes. Not really tears. Hannah doesn't really cry. We know Hannah doesn't really cry. But she's basically like, I think my mom killed Wilden. I know I've said I don't think Ashley's done it, but I guess I could see that Melissa could do it because, again, she is saving her sister. She's trying to save her sister. But I could see how Ashley could do it as well, or something. Like, but at the same time, like, there's been no mention of Melissa having a gun or anything like that. There's just been, let's look into Ashley Marin and her gun situation and the fact that she stole a gun that possibly matches. No one has said anything about if it really does match the bullet found in Wilden. Nope. Also, I was sitting there the whole episode wondering why I recognized Detective Tanner, and I was like, I know her from somewhere. Has she been on a previous episode? And then the Pretty Little Liars official Twitter page, they retweeted somebody who was like, oh my gosh, she's from Nip Tuck, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I used to watch that show. Equally as dramatic, except in a different way, super weird. When she was talking to Hannah, I was like, I trust that you are trying to get information out of her. That's the only thing that I trust you with. And for whatever reason, Caleb thinks he needs to save it to the day because Hannah she was sloppy. Sloppy! Girl, get a handle of this. You are a professional liar. You are a pretty little liar, and you're terrible at it. Also in this episode with Mask Guy, I know I keep calling him that, I don't know his real name, but basically with the flashback with Allie, it just still confirms that whole she needed money for something, possibly the baby, but what? What did she need money for? I'm sure everybody's gonna be like, duh, Liz, it was because of this. But again, we see the car, but we don't know who's in it. I assume Wilden. But yeah, that part was creepy with all the masks. We're bringing back the masks and whatnot, but we're also bringing back Melissa and how she's tied to everything. And I thought that part was awesome because it just brings in some closure on some things, at least a little bit of closure on some things, and explanation as to why she was the way she was before. And I wish she was a bigger part of the show. I miss Melissa's character when she's not there because I like the tension between her and Spencer. Just a sisterly thing. I like siblings on episodes. Hashtag where's Mike? Also from Melissa's story, we find out that Shauna told her that that's where Allie was getting her mask done. Also the fact that Wilden, not just the stuff on the train, but Wilden was the one who started the fire. Wilden started the fire. What? Also, Shauna and Blind Girl were in the woods watching, but they never saw Redcoat. No one saw Redcoat, and Melissa thinks that Allie's alive, which kind of like keeps that fire burning. Pun sort of intended? Also, can we get some Paige love up in here? Because she's just always like the lovely balance to be like, you know what, Emily, your life is hard, but, it's gonna be okay. So overall, this episode, it goes from lame to, oh my goodness, to, okay? Especially with, Arya and Jake, which I now understand why people do not ship them. Because of the fact that it's not just Ezria. It's not just that. It's just like, she's totally just like, I know she needed to explain everything, but I don't think she needed to tell the whole story. I think she needed to say, hey, that's my ex-boyfriend's son. That's it. That's all that needed to be said. But apparently she told him everything. And he's all like, okay, girl. And then like sits down next to her, and then when she went to kiss him, he was like, whoa, I don't want to be that guy. And it's just like, I don't understand why you're here. You knew something was up. You knew something was up. But, you know, homebro's cool. Because he was like, you can call me. Call me. Give me a friend. I'll help you carry on. But yeah, overall this episode was cray-cray, but a lot better than the past couple of episodes because, oh my gosh, those past couple episodes were like, why, where are we going with this? But I'm glad with Melissa's everything that she turns out to be like, she gives some answers and it's just like good stuff that we as the audience like can actually like fodder on, whereas as far as like the other episodes it was like, I'm grasping at straws here, and this one is like, okay, we can roll with this. Did Melissa kill Wilden? Is Melissa actually covering for Spencer? Is she trying to protect Spencer and her family and whatnot? You know, things like that. And as far as Emily, I think Emily's storyline is just, I know I said last week it's important to tell those kinds of stories, and it still is important. And but with Toby, Emily and Toby's storyline, sometimes you're like, you've taken this far enough, let's move on. Because in this episode it was like, oh great, Allison is connected with this. Surprise! Surprise! And let's end with that. Tell me below your theories about this episode, whether it be about Melissa, Wilden, everything. Because everything with Ashley was like, whoa, crazy. I think I missed a second of something important. I don't know. But, oh my goodness. Yeah, Melissa, Ashley, and everything with Spencer doing the Australian Outback kind of commentary, following her sister around with a camera. I thought that was super weird. What are you doing, girl?